throw by Greg Porter, and now Mark Johnson takes a trip out to the mound, and he's going to make a pitching change. The Aggie bullpen has been busy since the first inning. The change has been made, and Matt Berry has come in. 6'4", 240-pounder. We'll tell you more about him. Grant Gregg has his day come to an end, and he leaves with Oklahoma State leading it 4-0. Situation in which the Cowboys lead it 4-0 and have runners at first and third. Matt Berry is the new pitcher for Texas A&M. He inherits a situation in which the Cowboys lead it 4-0 and have runners at first and third with nobody down in the Cowboys' 6th inning.
Matt Berry, a junior from Lakeside, California, transfer from the Masters College out in California. 6.61 ERA, just his 6th appearance of the season. He has pitched 16 1/3 innings, 23 strikeouts in those 16 1/3 innings, and just 6 walks. So apparently kind of a strikeout pitcher, and he has been called upon to try to finish the job that Grant Gregg started, and the Aggies finding themselves down 4-0 once again and on the verge of being swept by the Cowboys. They have got to get the pitching and the defense going here and stop the Cowboys from scoring any more runs if they have any hope of winning.
Grant Gregg goes 5+ innings, gave up 7 hits, 4 runs, but the guys on base right now are his responsibility. He also walked 5, struck out just 2. Here's Ronte Langs, who has 2 hits and 2 appearances this afternoon. He has yet to score a run. He shows bunt and takes a strike. 0-1. Ronte Langs with a single to left. Both of his hits have been really through the hole between third and short. Beat out an infield single his last time up. He also made a spectacular catch out in center field. 1 strike to him. Got away from Howell momentarily. The count evens up at a ball and a strike.
We saw Tom Holliday last night with a 3-run lead. Sacrifice bunt, try to manufacture a run. In fact, did get a run out of it to make it a 4-run lead. It'll be interesting to see what he does here with a 4-run cushion here in the bottom of the 6th.
There goes the runner, Anthony. They've got him picked off. He's caught up in a rundown. And now Anthony on his way home. The tag was not made by Howell, and Anthony scores from third. It was Nabassett Brown, the runner at first base, and he's able to get to second base on the throw home.
And Nabassett Brown's the most relieved player on the field right now because he was dead to rights out there on the base pass, but the Aggies weren't able to execute it and get Kurt Anthony coming home, and another run comes in for the Cowboys.
Nabassett Brown got hung up, and it's kind of the way the whole series has gone for Oklahoma State. Matt Berry looked like he was going to get himself out of a bit of a jam. Lang is still trying to bunt the runner over.
And that's a play where no one gets an error, but in effect it really is an error because Texas A&M unable to execute the rundown well enough, and they don't get either runner. And a run results.
5-0 our score now. Oklahoma State on top. Langs waits on it, chops to third. Greg Porter over, and just in time to get Ronte Langs, who runs extremely well. And there's 1 down now in the Cowboys' 6th. 2 runs are across in the inning. Watson and Anthony have scored. Nabassett Brown remains in scoring position at second base for Carlos Gautreaux, who's still seeking his first hit of the day. Flied out to right, walked and was stranded, and then hit into a 5-4-3 double play back in the 4th inning. Curveball missing inside. 4 errors for Texas A&M on Friday night. They did not commit an error on Saturday, and 4 errors again today. And they've been costly errors today. Gautreaux strokes it to the gap in left center field. Eric Reed with good speed gets over there and cuts it off. And Nabassett Brown has to stay at second base. Boy, initially when that ball left the bat, it looked like there was no way Reed was going to get to it, but he's able to make a play rather routinely.
Yeah, the ball kind of, the way it came off the bat, kind of spun, had a spin to the right, and it was angling back towards Reed in center field and really made it an easy play for him.
So with 2 down, here's Jimbo McAuliffe. The Bassett Brown at second base. McAuliffe doubled, walked, and lined out to right field. A nice play made by Dalen Holt. And McAuliffe takes a strike. 0-1. Brown playing games with Barry off the bag at second. Wardynski was holding him on momentarily. Wardynski backed off. Brown took the big lead. He's been living dangerously this time around the pass. He almost got picked off a moment ago off first and stayed alive. A run scored on that play. Here's the 1-1. And McAuliffe fans through an off-speed pitch, a slider.
Brown's got good speed, although I don't think with 2 outs in the inning he's going to be thinking seriously about stealing third, but he'd like to get at least a good jump if McAuliffe is able to get the bat on the ball.
1-2. McAuliffe looking to make contact. Waits on the curveball and fouls it off. Nice piece of hitting by Jimbo McAuliffe. We talked about the schedule for Oklahoma State. They really do have to make up some ground. They lost a 3-game series earlier this season because of snow. They were supposed to play in Columbia, Missouri. Games that, you know, you pick up a win or two. There goes the runner as the Cowboys play hit and run on a 1-2 count with 2 down. But they lost that 3-game series with Missouri, and you figure those 2 teams are pretty comparable. But you're going to go to Columbia and get at least 1 win from the Tigers. Well, they lost the entire series. Those games will not be made up. And now you've got to get some ground, especially when you're talking about those 40 wins and getting into the NCAA tournament. And Barry misses low and away, 2-2. When you've got Iowa State, Oklahoma, and Texas Tech, really the only team in that category that has had a tough go this season, it's Iowa State. Oklahoma's pretty formidable, as is Texas Tech, and Purdue and Seton Hall aren't bad either. And he hit him in the back. Now that's the last thing Matt Barry wanted to do, was put another Cowboy on base with 2 down in the 6th.
And there wasn't a whole lot Jimbo McAuliffe could do. Just a fastball that got away from Matt Barry, and it almost actually went behind McAuliffe, but there was no way he was going to be able to get out of the way of that one. You can tell that stung a little bit.
Still smarting.
Ryan Buddy.
You know, he says, if they just hit me a little bit lower, get a little bit more padding. That hit him right in the small of the back. So there's 2 down now for Ryan Buddy. He's been a strikeout victim twice. The only 2 strikeouts recorded on the day by Grant Gregg, and he turns on one and hits it over the head of his coach, Tom Holliday.
It'll be alert down there in the third base coaching box. Tom wasn't real happy with that one. Says head out into the field of play. I'm in foul territory.
That's a smile of relief for Ryan Buddy. If he hits the coach, he's going to be running for a while.
You can tell Tom Holliday is a coach who's got 2 wins in the series and is up 5-0, if he can joke about that in the middle of the heat of a conference game.
A wild pitch that'll advance everybody up 90 feet. Howell retrieves the loose ball in front of the Aggie dugout. So there's runners at second and third now for Oklahoma State with 2 down in the 6th. Texas A&M has turned 3 double plays this afternoon. The defense has done a nice job. But sooner or later, Oklahoma State, you got to figure, is going to take advantage of a scoring opportunity like the one they have right here. Great off-speed pitch from Matt Barry, and Buddy was way in front of that offering. McCullough at second. Sebastian Brown at third. Berry working out of the windup. A ball and 2 strikes to the hitter Buddy. Roy York would follow, and here's a guy who's had a tremendous series with a home run today and a single. 3 home runs in the series. Another curveball. Short hop by the third baseman Porter over to Freeman, and that will do it for Oklahoma State in the 6th inning. But the Cowboys get 2 more. Well, the walks came back to haunt Grant Gregg. Matt Berry finished it out. We'll go to the 7th inning with Oklahoma State on top of Texas A&M 5-zip. Sports side of the Iowa State at Nebraska softball contest. It's the 569-35 or log on to www.collegesportscentral.com. Texas A&M with 3 runs on 3 hits. They left 3. There was an Oklahoma State error in the top of the 7th, and we're at the 7th inning stretch time. It will be Roy York, Luke Scott, and Rob Watson for Oklahoma State, facing Matt Berry now into his 2nd inning of work in relief of Grant Gregg. And York has had a terrific series, a home run and a single today. Gets a piece of a curveball, fouls it at the plate. He also reached in an error this afternoon and has a stolen base. 5-3 is our score. Another curveball. That's in there for a strike. A couple of thousand umpires in the stands didn't like that call.
I don't think Roy York liked it too much either.
Ken Eldridge, the home plate umpire this afternoon. Another curveball. That goes about 59 feet. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Howell settles in there at catcher. Here's Berry's 1-2 offering, and he strikes him out. It looked like York may have gotten a piece of that, but Howell hangs on, and it's the first strikeout for Matt Berry.
Matt Berry, a little breaking pitch there, and Roy York unable to get down to it. Strike out to start the inning. And the Aggies really can't afford to give up any more runs here after finally getting on the board with 3 in the 7th. Don't want to continue to play catch up.
Here's Luke Scott, the first baseman. 1 for 3, flied out, doubled, and then hit into a 4-6-3 double play in the 5th inning. And you go back to the Cowboys' 6th. Oklahoma State, we said, got a couple of insurance runs, and they sure did. They lead it by those 2 runs, and it was 2 errors by Texas A&M that are really looming large right now. An error by the second baseman Sean Heaney on a ball hit by Kurt Anthony. On the same play, Greg Porter tried to make a play at second base. There's one hit down to first, and it gobbles up Jeff Freeman. It's off his body, and he won't have a play. 2 errors on 1 play in the 6th inning have led to 2 runs for the Cowboys, which right now is the difference in the game. And they'll rule that an error on Freeman. Error number 5 on the Aggies.
Hot grounder down to first, and Freeman on kind of the in-between hop was unable to handle it. And yet another Aggie error, and the Cowboys looking for a little bit more insurance.
Nine errors now in the series for Texas A&M. And a curveball to Rob Watson is outside. Rob is 1 for 2 with 2 runs scored. He's doubled and walked in the game. Driven to left field. The right at Sepulveda. He can't make the play. Sepulveda was frozen momentarily trying to pick up the ball off the bat. The ball wasn't hit all that high, and it just kind of died out there and left.
Didn't look like he got a very good jump on it, or he thought maybe that it was hit harder than it was. And by the time he was able to react, wasn't able to get there.
And they ruled it a base hit. 9 hits now in the game for Oklahoma State, and there's activity for Texas A&M in their bullpen. Once again, here's Kurt Anthony at the plate. Infield in, looking for a double play, and Anthony takes a strike.
sophomore Brian Strelitz up for the Aggies in the bullpen.
And Anthony, back in the 6th inning, is the one who had the hit, in which the 2 errors were recorded against Texas A&M. He takes another strike, now 0-2. The ball that he hit wasn't hit all that hard. It was kind of an in-between hop to the second baseman Heaney. It got past him into the outfield, and that's when the problems began for the Aggies. The 0-2. Fastball missing low. 2 men aboard for him. Luke Scott at second. Rob Watson behind him at first. Cowboys looking to even up their Big 12 record at 9-9 with the win. That misses inside. Now 2-2. They were cruising along, but things have gotten a little bit more interesting here in the latter stages of the game. Oklahoma State entered the ball game, entered this weekend series rather, 8th in the Big 12 standings. Texas A&M right in the middle, but both teams are heading toward the 500 mark. Oklahoma State's going up, and Texas A&M coming back down. And Anthony strikes out. Barry's looked good so far. His 2nd strikeout of the inning.
Looked like another breaking pitch. It drops right off. Similar pitch to the one that got Roy York and Kurt Anthony. Also swinging over the ball, and 2nd out of the inning for Matt Berry.
It doesn't look as though that Berry throws with great velocity, but he really has been spotting his pitches well. He wanted to go through the numbers again with Howell, and now time is called. Here's Nabassett Brown in there. He's 0 for 2, flying out and hitting it into a double play. He walked his last time up and was stranded at 3rd. 2 aboard with 2 down in the bottom of the 7th. There's a fastball for a strike. This is the first time that Brown has faced Berry. The pitching change that was made by Texas A&M was after Brown drew the walk. That was all for Grant Gray. And again, Berry took something off that, and Brown was way in front of that.
So many times in this weekend series when Texas A&M has had an inning where they score some runs, Oklahoma State has come back and answered in the bottom half, and this would be a good time if you're an Aggie fan for them to end that kind of trend.
And he struck him out. 3 strikeouts in the inning for Matt Berry. And that trend does come to an end. The Cowboys failed to answer back. Texas A&M got 3.5 this 7th, and Berry shut him out in the bottom half of the inning. We'll go to the 8th with Oklahoma State leading it by a couple of runs.
We'll get the win today. He'll go
2-5-69-35 or log on to www.collegesportscentral.com. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. And a pinch hitter for Oklahoma State. It will be Toby Rhodes, who was the starting center fielder for the Cowboys on Friday and Saturday. He replaces Ronte Langs, who in his only appearance in this series has played reasonably well. Went 2 for 3 at the plate, made a nice play in center field on a diving catch, and has given Rhodes a bit of a break. And now Toby stands in there for his first at bat of the day, facing Matt Berry, who has pitched well out of the bullpen for Mark Johnson. He's got 3 strikeouts, all coming in the 7th inning. And he got the Aggies out of a jam back in the 6th inning. First man he faced, in fact, was Langs in the 9th spot in the Aggie line, or the Cowboy lineup. Oklahoma State had scored 2 runs. Had a couple of guys on. Berry got the Aggies out of it with little damage done. Fastball for a strike, now 2-1.
Toby Rhodes may be a little bit better defensively than Ronte Langs, and certainly don't give up a whole lot in the speed department. Langs probably faster than Rhodes, but Toby Rhodes can move pretty well, so it's maybe one reason why he's pinch hitting.
There's a big hop that goes over the glove of Sean Heaney, and it'll be a base hit for Toby Rhodes. And we've talked about it in the first 2 games of this series. This is a good field. It's well manicured, but the seam between the grass and the dirt in the infield is rather dramatic. And Toby Rhodes gets a home hop, and Sean Heaney thought what he had was a routine ground ball, and it wasn't that at all.
That's been the kind of series that has been for Texas A&M. An inch here or there, and as you said, it's an easy ground ball. Instead, it's a bad hop that he really had no chance on.
And Carlos Gautreaux shows bunt, pulls back, and didn't think that was a strike. And Tom Holliday is going to come in and talk to his leadoff hitter. Get the sign straight, calm him down a little bit, and get back in there and trying to get that run across. Mike Miller got him to fly out. So the Cowboys are trying to put a little bit more distance between themselves and the Aggies. And Gautreaux not showing bunt this time. Freeman sprinting in from first base, trying to cover on the play. That's one of those things when you're playing the corners, third or first, and you sprint in expecting bunt, and the guy doesn't show it. You're thinking, oh no, there goes the runner. The throw from Howell is not in time to get Toby Rhodes. Brian Wardynski covering on the play. The ball took a hop, and it was slow coming out of the grass.
And I think that's what maybe Holliday was talking to Gautreaux about, is he did not want him to bunt because they had the steal plan for Toby Rhodes, who, as I said earlier, has pretty good speed. So now they got him into a scoring position here, and we'll see what Gautreaux does now.
Good looking slide by Toby Rhodes to go to the outside part of the bag and get his hand in there and avoid the tag. And there's a strike to Gautreaux, and the count evened up now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nobody down in the 8th inning. Give Rhodes a stolen base. The 2-2. Curveball just missing outside for Toby Rhodes. That's his 4th stolen base of the year in 5 attempts. The count's full, 3-2. Jimbo McAuliffe will follow. And Barry wants a new set of signs, and time is called. After this, Texas A&M plays Rice, a game you'll be able to see on College Sports Southwest. That game on the 18th, and then they travel to Lincoln, Nebraska to take on the Huskers for a 3-game series. The 3-2. Knocked down at the plate by Howell. And Howell makes a play down to first, thinking it was a 3rd strike, and it wasn't. He thought it was a strike. Ken Eldridge thought otherwise, and Gautreaux walks on the play. But you can't blame the guy for trying.
I think he thought if he threw down to first base, he would convince the umpire that was a strike, but
I'm not sure that was close.
I'm not sure it was either. Take it any way they can get it at this point.
So here's Jimbo McAuliffe with 2 men aboard, nobody down in the bottom of the 8th inning. He drops down a bunt, takes a hop, and it rolls foul. Well, that flirted with staying fair.
And Greg Porter charging it all the way, making sure it didn't have a chance to roll back fair.
Never forget the highlight. It's been almost the late 70s, early 80s. Lenny Randall playing with the Seattle Mariners. I was playing on AstroTurf, trying to blow the ball foul.
Yeah.
Not sure Lenny Randall's ever going to make the Hall of Fame, but he'll be famous for one thing.
You only have to do one thing that sticks out of Major League Baseball to make the history books and the memory bank.
That's right. Chopped up the middle over the head of the pitcher. This will be a double play. Nice job by Sean Heaney, the second baseman, to backhand it. He was right at the bag, made the out at second, and then fired to first, and that will retire 2 Cowboys. On the play, Toby Rhodes moves over to third base.
The 4th double play of the game for the Aggies. And he does it unassisted to second and makes the nice throw over to Jeff Freeman. And a big double play.
Here's Ryan Buddy, the catcher. He struck out twice, grounded out, popped out in foul territory to the first baseman. He didn't have a hit yesterday, trying to find one today. If he gets it, that'll bring home Rhodes from third base. 2,268 fans on hand this afternoon at Allie Reynolds Stadium in Stillwater. Glad to have you with us on College Sports Southwest with Brian Brinkley. I'm Bill Dolman. We're in the bottom of the 8th. Oklahoma State leading at 5-3. Matt Berry, the second pitcher used by Mark Johnson. He's pitched well and trying to get out of a bit of a jam here in the bottom of the 8th inning with a runner at third. And Berry hits it hard to third. It's Porter, scoops it up, fires it over. Freeman's got it, and that will do it for the Cowboys in the home half of inning number 8. They get a man to third in Toby Rhodes, but he's stranded there, so we'll go to the 9th. The final chance for the Aggies, trying to avoid a sweep. They trail it 5-3.